Hey guys, it's your friend Mace from San Juan. I really appreciate you guys giving me this first 30 seconds. I hope with this 30 seconds I can buy the next minute, and then with that minute I can buy the next 2 minutes, and I hope to get your attention for the next 20 to 30 minutes. That's all I'm asking for. And by the way, if any of you guys makes it to the end of this podcast, please text me, email me, just let me know, hey, I got all the way through, okay? Just I would appreciate that because it's really hard for me to do this. This is like take number 12 or something. And every time, because I don't have the video editing software, when I screw up, I basically have to start over from the very beginning, and it's a pain in the ass. So I'm trying my very hardest to make this for you in 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, I'm 40 seconds in, and what I want to talk to you guys tonight about is where I think this ultimately goes. Okay, I'm not taking Bill Gates' vaccine. Okay, I won't do it. I'm entrenched in this. I'm not going to do it. Now, I think there's a lot of people out there saying I'm not going to take it. I don't want to take it, but I think when they twist the screws and they say you can't fly in a plane anymore or you can't participate in this part of society anymore, I think people are going to cave, and that's where I'm at. So that ultimately, I think what they're going to do is use their televisions and they're going to program you to hate me because I'm this shithead that won't take the fucking vaccine. That's the way I think this is going, and I don't want you guys to hate me. I'm just right now it's palatable to you guys. Okay, fine. You don't want to take the vaccine. Maybe I will, but right now you guys don't hate me because I don't want to take the vaccine. I think that's going to be reprogrammed with all of you, and by the time we get to the end of this game with the New World Order, they're going to uh, cause you to rethink this, and you're probably going to hate guys like me that won't take the vaccine because now you still have to show your immunity pass everywhere you go because we don't have 100% compliance. And anyway, 2 minutes in. Let me go where I want to go on this. So I promised you guys in my last podcast I was going to try to keep this to 20 to 30 minutes. That's still my goal. I don't know if I can make it happen or not. There's a lot of shit that I want to share with all of you guys. But I'm going to try my hardest to keep this to 20, 30 minutes. It means I have at most 18 to 28 more minutes to go. All right. So where are we at on this thing? Before I can go, and I promised you guys I was going to show you my top 10 reasons for why I think this is not only a plandemic, but also a scamdemic. In other words, I don't think anybody's even getting sick, okay? And I know that's a deep dive for you guys right now. But before I can go there, I think we need to go to some more basic, elementary, basically, let's take you guys back to the grade school level of, let's go back to trigger words, okay? So in my last podcast, I started out by explaining to you guys, and don't turn it off right now. Please be man enough to watch this whole thing. Please just be man enough to look into some things that maybe I can point out some things that you guys didn't already know. Maybe I can. Okay? So be man enough to look into this and just finish this podcast. Just listen to what I got to say. Guys, please. Okay? So I'm going to say some words that are going to trigger you. Guaranteed to trigger you. In other words, you're going to hear some words that I'm going to say in the next 5 minutes, and they're going to trigger you like nothing before, and you're going to go, eye roll. Oh my God, I can't believe he's, you know, that's where it's going to go. So in my last podcast, I started out by explaining to you guys, hey, I joined the Muslim Brotherhood, and I'm going to get into the reasons for why I joined the Muslim Brotherhood. Truth is, I didn't join the Muslim Brotherhood. In fact, I know next to nothing about the Muslim Brotherhood. But I told you guys that, and I know at least one of you guys, or I suspect that one of you guys, turned it off immediately because you weren't going to hear out the reasons why. Why would your old friend from college join the Muslim Brotherhood? I didn't join the Muslim Brotherhood. I know nothing about them. I just told you guys that because that's a great example of a trigger word. It causes everyone to roll their eyes and go, this is stupid. I can't listen to this anymore. This is nonsense. This is dumb. This is stupid. Okay? That's the way we're programmed. And it's not just that's not the only trigger. There's thousands of examples of trigger words. Okay? So if you're a diehard Democrat, Trump is great. That's a trigger phrase for you. You're going to, okay? And if you're a Christian, I'm an atheist, and there's absolutely no. Do you see where I'm going with this? These are all trigger words, okay? It's very centered around religion, and it's all about beliefs. That's what it is. It's beliefs. So open your mind, be open-minded to what I want to show you tonight, okay? I'm going to pause this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so the trigger words, I'm just going to throw them out there right now. Thanks for bearing with me on that pause. So the trigger words are the big C word, conspiracy. And the other one is the big N word, We're going to get back to the N word in a minute. Okay, let's go conspiracy first. Let me tackle that one. So a lot of you just think that automatically when you hear the word conspiracy, you might as well just turn it off because whatever this guy has to say is just rubbish and garbage. Well, unless you're a Holocaust denier, which would put you firmly in the camp of conspiracy theorist, you're a believer in a conspiracy. Okay, my mother-in-law, no, it would be my, what is it? My new brother-in-law's mom. Okay, she was born pretty much first generation. She was born about the time that Nazi Germany was falling, around mid 40s. Okay, and I've asked her the last couple Christmases just to clarify and make sure I didn't misunderstand what she was saying. Hey, did all the people in Germany know about these death camps during World War II and the leading up to the World War II? And the official story is they didn't know. That means that you had a lot of people involved in killing 6 million Jews, and nobody talked. And it didn't make it out. Well, I'm sure there was some talking, but it never made it onto the mainstream press, and it was not widely known throughout Germany that they were murdering all the Jews. I think they all knew that they were taking them to labor camps, but either you're a Holocaust denier or you believe in one of the biggest conspiracy theories ever handed down to mankind right there. The Manhattan Project, at its peak, they employed over 214,000 people in this thing. Did every one of those 214,000 people know exactly what was going on in Manhattan Project? You probably don't even know what Manhattan Project is, in all likelihood, because they don't teach it in the schools. And that was our secret project to develop the atomic bomb that we dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Okay, I don't even want to. There's a whole other rabbit hole that goes down that way, but we're not going to go there at all. We don't have. I'm way too far into this podcast, and I don't have enough time. But bottom line is, conspiracies happen. Enron, they faked the damn trading floor. Okay, nobody talked. Nobody wrote a book. Nobody's singing. Nobody's whistling, and it probably just because whoever would write a book or do an interview on that might subject themselves to prison by admitting all that shit on the record. So conspiracies happen all the time. The mafia, that's a conspiracy. I mean, the whole thing. Nobody talks in the mafia. You talk in the mafia, you're dead. They'll kill you. They'll kill your kids. They'll kill your mom. They'll kill everybody in your whole family. That's the mafia, and that's real. We all know that's real. Conspiracies do exist. Now, we're going to go back to the second word, and this one's going to trigger you guys. The N word, 9/11. In my opinion, guys, don't stop. Just please give me some more time. In my opinion, 9/11 is the easiest conspiracy of them all to figure out. And all of you guys are, I don't think any of you guys that I'm attending this podcast for actually believe anything other than that bin Laden did this. Osama bin Laden and 19 Muslim hijackers with a Quran in their suitcase did this. I'm going to try to show you how we were lied to. And if you guys aren't able to see this, then I can tell you right now, just stop at the end of this 20 to 30 minute podcast. I'm going to make another one for you. And that one's going to go into Scamdemic, Plandemic, okay? So tonight, I know I baited you guys in with Scamdemic, Plandemic, and it was never my intention to bait you in with false shit. But it realized, I mean, I just came to me. It's like, if they can't see the N-word, 9/11, they're never going to see Scamdemic. They might see Plandemic. Actually, I don't think you'll see either one. I don't think you'll see either one of them. If you can't see 9/11, you're not going to see Scamdemic, Plandemic. So that's why I'm going to go over some really, really basic conspiracy 101. We're talking kindergarten, first grade stuff here. That should wake every single one of you up. Should wake every one of you up. And I can tell you right now, during this presentation, if I make one mistake, if I say one thing that isn't true, you're going to throw that back in my face. And because I make one mistake in this presentation, you're going to ignore everything else that I'm showing you. Everything else that I show you, I could show you 29 minutes of truth, but if I make a mistake for 1 minute, you're going to ignore the other 29 minutes. That's the way this shit works. I've been through this with so many people, okay? And the other thing is, if when I show you this, you should be asking yourself, why do I feel so triggered about 9/11? Why do I feel triggered on that? You should be asking yourself that question. Why am I programmed? Why am I programmed to question, why do I feel so triggered about 9/11? It's almost like religion. Is that why do I believe that Osama bin Laden did 9/11? Why do I even believe that? So I'm going to pause this one more time, and we're going to be right back. Thank you. Okay, thanks, guys. So now I'm going to show you just a little clip here. This is our old president, George Bush. And for you Republicans, I expect you to be triggered by this. Let's see, it's right here. Okay, let's go.
Before us, the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
Okay, so I know you heard that. A new world order. Let me rewind it. I'm going to go right back. I want you to hear that one more time.
To forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world...
See that sick bastard? And I know most of you guys are probably Republicans, but that son of a bitch, he's in on it, okay? Do you get that? He's in on it. Whether they forced him or he chose, I don't know. But that sick bastard is in on it. There's a new world order, and it's being rolled out right before our eyes right now. So that's what I wanted to show you first. Now we're going to go on to some big trigger word here, guys. Bear with me. 9/11, the N word. Now, I don't know where you guys are. I would suspect that 95% of you guys have heard of World Trade Center Building 7. On the World Trade Center complex, one of the buildings was across the street. And it was not on the main campus with the rest of the World Trade Center buildings. It was a 52-story skyscraper, steel frame skyscraper. It was built in 1980 or 81, and it was World Trade Center Building 7. And I just want you to see this. This building collapsed later that afternoon at 5, I think it was 5, I don't know, around 5:15 p.m. that night. Watch this thing go down. This is 52 stories, and the thing just collapsed at free, and it's been actually documented at free fall acceleration. In other words, nothing was obscuring its path. This thing collapsed through, just like the Twin Towers, it collapsed through the path of greatest resistance, straight down into its own footprint. Guys, you don't need a university or an official expert to tell you that nothing looks more like a controlled demolition than a controlled demolition. Do you see that? Okay, we're going to watch it one more time, another angle. There we are again, Building 7, 52 stories. Okay, so the government's official story was that this building collapsed due to ordinary office fires. Do you believe that? Look at this. Does this look like ordinary office fires could do this? Look at that. Just go straight down. It's unbelievable that anybody... So I know you guys have all seen this. Most of you guys have seen this collapse before. But the problem is you haven't come to terms with it. And now that they're rolling out the new world order that George Bush promised us in that last clip, it's go time, guys. They are rolling this shit out, and they're rolling it out fast. Look at that. So this is just one thing. I've got some other things I'm going to try to show you here in just a minute. That's not normal, guys. That ordinary office fires don't do that. Now, some of the explanations for Building 7 that came out early was that, oh, well, you know, it was there were diesel fuel tanks for the backup power generators in the basement of the building. That was the first story that came out, and so that weakened the building. Even that, I mean, come on. But the problem is, you know what they did? They siphoned out all the jet fuel or the diesel fuel in that building. It was never the tank was never ruptured. The government's official story was that these were ordinary office fires that caused this collapse, this symmetrical collapse. Look at this thing. Oh my God. 52 stories of steel and concrete just collapse. Okay, now that's just Building 7. I've got another one for you that I'm going to go over in just a minute. But before we do that, you guys are going to watch another, I don't know, 60 seconds of this building falling down over and over again, because it just needs to sink in. This is not the result of ordinary office fires. Come on. You don't need a university publication or an official government study to tell you this. That this is not, you know, we had a plane crash into Tower 1. we had a plane crash into Tower 2. And by the way, I'm not a, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. We're not going to go there in this little short, 20-minute podcast. But this should be enough to wake anyone up. This should be, and so what I'm saying is, you guys are so triggered that you're not seeing this. You're not able to see this. You need to see this. You need to seek the truth. All of us need to seek the truth. And we need to come to terms with reality. Muslims didn't do this shit, guys. Osama bin Laden didn't sneak into the World Trade Center complex and do that. There's no way. These were some of the most heavily guarded buildings on Earth. Pause. Okay, now this is another video that I found today, and this is one that I felt was a pretty good example of, just the government cover-up. So NIST, which is part of the Department of Commerce, they were the ones that were tasked by Congress to explain the collapse of World Trade Center buildings 1, 2, and 7. And this is how this shit went down. Listen to this cover-up. This is not an investigation, guys. This is a cover-up. Listen to this.
Well, NASA pictures, thermal images showed those sorts of temperatures in the basement.
Would you send them to me?
Okay.
My name is Mark, and I'm the individual who was questioning Dr. Gross, and he asked me to email to him those thermal images. When I approached him after his talk to get his email address for that purpose, he refused to provide it to me. I think this is important because it reveals the attitude of the NIST investigators, which is one of willful ignorance of what really happened on 9/11.
Molten metal exceeding 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
I'm curious about the pool of molten steel that was found in the bottom of the towers.
I am too.
And
Just tell me about it. Have you seen it?
well, not personally, but eyewitnesses there found huge pools of molten steel beneath the towers, and some scientists don't think that the collapse of the building could have melted all that steel.
First of all, let's go back to your basic premise that there was a pool of molten steel. I know of absolutely nobody, no eyewitness who said so, nobody who's produced it. I was on the site, I was on the steel yards, so I don't know that that's so.
You'd get down below and you'd see molten steel running down the channel rails. Like you're in a foundry.
Like it was
Like
lava
lava.
from a volcano.
Underground, it was still so hot that molten metal dripped down the sides of a wall from Building 6.
However, they do hit hot spots occasionally, and everything stops.
There were fires of 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit below the ground.
I don't know that that's so.
There's video of
melted around 2,600 degrees Fahrenheit. I think it's probably pretty difficult to get that kind of temperatures in a fire.
Well, NASA pictures, thermal images showed those sorts of temperatures in the basement.
Would you send them to me?
Okay.
Biggest things. Out still on the rubble, it's still, I believe, 1,100 degrees. The guy's boots just melt within a few hours.
This is how it's been since day one. Oh, it's unbelievable. And this is 6 weeks later, almost 6 weeks later. And as we get closer to the center of this, it gets hotter and hotter. It's probably 1,500 degrees. We've had some small windows into what we thought was a core at some point, and it looked like an oven. It was just roaring inside. And it just had a bright reddish orange color.
NASA and the U.S.
So guys, there was no nat gas going into the World Trade Center complex. I've researched this. It wasn't there. There's absolutely no explanation for why. Those towers smoked and burned. The final fires on the World Trade Center complex weren't extinguished until, I want to say, the first week of December. That's basically 12 weeks these fires burned. Show me another fire anywhere in the world that's burned for 12 weeks, okay? You just heard those firefighters talking about melted, steel. And, when Crystal and I went down to Manhattan to get married, we got married right under the Brooklyn Bridge, but we wound up stumbling into the New York Police Department Museum. And in this museum, they had on display some melted concrete from Building 6. Let me show you. Pause. Okay, Building 6 was a 7-story skyscraper right next door to one of the towers. I don't know if it was one or two, but basically this is the outline. I'm going to outline the foundation of the building here with this red. It would have gone back that way. Right there. That's building 6. You can see this is the remaining skeleton of one of the twin towers. It's either 1 or 2, I'm not sure which. But that's building 6. Okay, and you can see that thing's just completely demolished, and there's just this giant gaping hole in the top of it, but all the walls are still standing. Really strange. So when Crystal and I got married, we stumbled into the New York Police Department Museum in Manhattan. It was just a couple blocks from the basically the Wall Street area. And this, guys, is melted concrete. I'm going to scroll up here and we're going to find a plaque that we can read, and you can see the U.S. Customs House stored a large arsenal of firearms at its 6th World Trade Center office. That was that little 7-story building that we just looked at. During recovery efforts, several handguns were found at Ground Zero, including these 2 cylindrical gun casing remains and a revolver embedded in concrete. Fire temperatures were so intense that concrete melted like lava around anything in its path. Look at that. The concrete melted, okay, in building 6. So the problem is no plane crashed into building 6. What the hell melted concrete over in building 6? Think about that, guys. Think about that. And you need to come to terms with the reality. There's no explanation. Nothing that we can think of, nothing we know of would have caused that. Pause. These are some pictures taken from the day of. And I think we need to be asking ourselves, why is there so much dust everywhere? Look at all that dust. I mean, it's absolutely insane, the amount of dust. People were just absolutely covered in it. Look at that. Just dust everywhere. Unbelievable amounts of dust. Everybody's just absolutely covered in it. And we're going to pause now, and I will be right back. One of the leading researchers on 9/11, Dr. Judy Woods from Clemson, she uses the term dustification. Now, I'm going to pause this and rewind it. I just want you guys to look at what I want to point out here. I'm going to bring out my little red Sharpie here. There's a piece of steel siding that comes down right there. Okay, watch that piece of steel. Watch it. Look at that one. Look at all the dust coming off of that, guys. It's just unbelievable. I'm going to rewind. We can watch it again. Just watch it again. Look at these giant steel rafters. Look at that one. Okay, you saw that one? Okay, I know you saw it. I'm going to rewind. I think it's this one right here. Okay, well, watch that guy right there. Watch him. Look at the amount of dust trailing off of that thing. Number one, why would there be so much dust on these steel beams? And, you know, where the hell's the pile? There should have been a pile, like I told you guys earlier, 110 feet tall at the base of these towers. Now, one thing else I want to point out to y'all, I'm going to revise that one, but now we're going to look at this guy right here. Focus on that one. Okay? Watch. I don't know. Did that damn thing just turn into dust? I think it turned into dust. The debate is on, that's for sure. But we'll watch it again. They call this the 9/11 Spire. Just looks like it turns into dust to me. I know this is deep down the rabbit hole conspiracy for you guys, man. And you guys probably aren't ready, but look at that. It's gone. I'm going to go back one more time. We're going to watch that again. Okay, there's your stock. And by the way, that spire is towering. I mean, you're looking at 70 stories there. 70 stories of steel sticking up. There's building 7 right here. We know that's 52 stories. How tall is that damn thing up here? What is the height of that? Let's go back again. I just want you to see it again because I find it to be absolutely amazing. Now, I don't know what happened, guys. I don't know. But one thing's for sure, we've been lied to. We've been lied to on a massive scale. Watch this thing turn into dust. Watch it. It's gone. It just, now Sparky insists that this thing just falls right down through, well, the path of greatest resistance, straight down. My question is, does it drag down and create a Wile E. Coyote cloud as it leaves a cloud of dust behind, or does it actually disintegrate? I think it disintegrates. Okay, that's for you to determine. But you watch these videos. These buildings just absolutely were disintegrated and turned into dust. This is not a gravitational collapse. And if you search your heart, you're going to know that is not a gravitational collapse. There's no way anything's going to collapse right through the path of greatest resistance into its own footprint like that. Look at this. Just straight down. Guys, we were lied to on 9/11. We were lied to. It's just that simple. So the truth of the matter is, if you guys can't come to terms with 9/11 and admit that you've been lied to, you're not going to see Scamdemic, Plandemic. I'm going to make another video for you guys. It's going to be 20 to 30 minutes on top of this one, and that one will go over why I think this is a New World Order takeover, and it's a Plandemic, and I believe it's a Scamdemic. I might be wrong on Scamdemic. I don't know, but I know for sure it's a damn Plandemic, okay? And guys, those towers were just turned into dust. And I hope you guys are able to come to terms with this and see this. But if you can't see this, if you're just going to mock this and ridicule this and laugh and, oh, stupid Mace, he's so gullible, he'll believe anything they put on YouTube. If that's where you're going to go with this, don't bother watching my next video. But I would appreciate some feedback from each and every one of you. It's taken me several hours tonight to get to this final take and get this recording done. So been a lot of work, and I hope that maybe I've if I gut feeling, if I send this out to 100 people, I'll be lucky if one of them sees what I see. Look at that. Did that just turn into dust? I swear that just turned into dust, guys. That was... I'm going to go right back one more time. This one. Look at that. Ah, shit. It looks like it turns into dust to me. Anyway, to each his own. Whatever you want to believe is what you're going to believe. So, love you all, guys. But, yeah, if you guys could message me, just let me know. Send me an email. Leave a comment below. Like and subscribe if you like my channel. So, love you guys. And also, one last thing. I'm going to put this up on brand NewTube as well as my YouTube. So I don't have to worry about being banned by YouTube because I only have, like, I don't know, a couple hundred subs. But for the bigger channels, yeah, definitely, you know, they have problems. So, but on brand NewTube, it looks like they're doing absolutely no censoring. So my channel over there is Bad Mofongo. Bad Mofongo. Love you guys. See you later. Bye.